Welcome, everyone, to match day 3 of the 2023 Women's World Cup. And we start off with Group A, where we started off this tournament. Norway, Philippines, Switzerland, and New Zealand playing their final groups. Thanks for tuning in on what is a Sunday morning for me, an early Sunday morning here in Phoenix, Arizona. Turning into Sunday night in New Zealand, Dunedin, where you'll see Switzerland take on New Zealand, and in Auckland, where we will see Norway take on Philippines. Both teams are getting, or rather, both matches are getting the team photos. So with that, let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll look at Switzerland and New Zealand. First, that will be the main match we'll be covering on here. Switzerland lining up in a 4-3-2-1. Gael Tallman in goal. In the back line, Nadine Reeson, Julia Steerley, Noel Maritz, and Eseosa Agbogan. Midfield will be Komba Sao, Leah Valti, and Geraldine Rotela. Attacking midfielders will be Romona Bachmann and Sarina Pubel. Anna Maria Krnogorevich will be striker. New Zealand lining up in a 4-4-2 today, looking to advance to the knockouts. First time in the 6 editions they have played in this tournament. Lining up 4-4-2, as I said, Victoria Essen in goal. Backline will be Ali Riley, Katie Bowen, Rebecca Stott, and CJ Bott. Midfield left to right. Annalie Longo, Rhea Percival, Malia Steinmetz, and Olivia Chance up top. Jackie Hand and Hannah Wilkinson. On to Norway and Philippines, and we'll start off with Norway first. In the 4-3-3 today, Aurora Mikkelsen will be in goal. Tua Hansen, Matilda Harvikin, Maren Mayelda, and Thea Bayelda will be your back line going from left to right. Midfield will be Guro Reiten, Vilda Borisa, and Frida Manu. Up top, which will be 3, will be Emily Javi, Sophie Roman Haug, and Caroline Graham Hansen. For Philippines, lining up in a 3-5-2, Olivia McDaniel will be in goal, and the 3 across the back will be Angela Beard, Jessica Cowart, and Holly Long. Midfield will be Sarina Bolden on the left wing, Alicia Barker on the right wing. Center midfielders will be Sarah Egesvik, Jacqueline Sawicki, and Quinley Quezada. Up top, Isabella Flanagan and Katrina Gio. Norway head coach by Hega Risa, and Philippines by Alan Stajcic. Teams in the huddles, both teams going out on the pitch. Speaking of which, this is what Group A looks like going into the final match day. What we're going to expect in these 90 minutes, we don't know, but this is what we know right now. Switzerland is on top of the group with 4 points in first place. New Zealand is in second with 3 points with a 0 goal differential. Philippines in third with a -1 goal differential, but still at 3 points. And Norway is last with 1 point. Center circles are ready. New Zealand to kick it off, or rather, Philippines to kick it off at Eden Park. New Zealand to kick it off in Dunedin at Forsyth Bar Stadium. Switzerland, or rather Norway, Philippines is underway. Norway in the all red going from left to right. Philippines in the all white going from right to left. Switzerland, New Zealand is also underway. Switzerland, much like their European counterparts, in all red going from left to right. New Zealand will be in the white tops, blue shorts, and white socks going from right to left. A chance here for Philippines. And a takedown there, just close to the area, as Gio is taken down. Graham Hansen, the culprit there. Free kick for the Philippines, and we're not even done explaining the intro. How about that? And again, a nifty move there by Gio to get away. Trying to get some promotional work on social media updated. After that, I'll try to. I've got both games on my computer right now. I'm going to try to move one of them. I believe Norway, Philippines, maybe to the phone. Nonetheless, free kick for the Philippines, fresh off a 1-0 win against co-host New Zealand. 1 minute in, about 25 yards out, this free kick will take place. Meanwhile, Switzerland on a break possibly. Gorovich, going forward. Nonetheless, ball swung into the box. That's headed up, still in the area, still crashing forward, still bouncing around, and now it's cleared out there by number 16, that being Harvikin for Norway. Out on the right-hand side corner there. It's good work by Bolden, who's trying to keep that in play. She was able to deflect it off of Hansen, and that With that, we will get a throw-in. Nonetheless, deep in the attacking third for the Filipinas. That one booted forward there, back with Switzerland with Talman. Played out, and again, a chance for Bachmann and Switzerland to break. Meanwhile, throw into the box for Philippines. Bachmann now still going on the ball. Edge of the box. Shot taken. That's blocked away. New Zealand survives the chance there. Meanwhile, Philippines will play this back towards their goal in Olivia McDaniel. 2 minutes, not too much of a difference. Maybe about 7 seconds between Switzerland, New Zealand, and Norway, Philippines. Norway, Philippines, maybe 7 seconds ahead in that regards. Nonetheless, Graham Hansen on the right with a chance edge of the box. Graham Hansen lifts it in, caught by McDaniel. So again, chances. Nonetheless, Switzerland with an attack going forward. That's cut out there. I can't tell who. I believe it was Rhea Percival. Percival cuts it out, and it looks like Norway's got a corner kick coming up. Going to the corner flag for the Swiss will be number 2, Julia Steerley, listed as a center back, but again, we've seen a lot of these center backs go forward up the pitch, almost play defender-like in these types of situations. So chance here for the Swiss. Steerley with both arms up, left-footed swinger into the box, headed away, back post. No rebound available for Kumasao, who was making the run. It will be seen out on the other side, and now on the far side of the pitch, left side for Switzerland, we'll have another corner kick. Chance now for Norway. Graham Hansen on the right. Graham Hansen now cutting inside. She's in the box now. Graham Hansen with a shot deflected. Was it seen out on the end line? Maybe. Nonetheless, Switzerland corner kick. That's headed away there. Sumptuous one by Bowen to head it out. Nonetheless, recollected by Leah Valti, the captain for Switzerland, out with Bachmann. Stott staying with the ball for New Zealand. Stott plays it out. Nonetheless, a chance for Norway. Graham Hansen's cross deflected out. Another throw-in deep in the attacking third. The Norwegians, again, a team, historically speaking, has always been a stalwart. Again, made the final in 1991, won the final in 1995, but ever since then have been yet to return to glory. And they've been darlings, but at the same time, it seems like their castle's been crumbling. This one swung high into the box. Back post header is up in there, and the shot, not the best one, as it's caught there by McDaniel. Chance was taken there by Emily Javi. So now a chance for Philippines to break the other way. Bolden in the area. Same goes for Flanagan. Nonetheless, cleared out by the Norwegians. Back with Graham Hansen on the right. It's about 5 minutes through both matches. Switzerland and New Zealand tied 0-0. Norway and Philippines tied 0-0 as well. Played back towards goal here for New Zealand. Victoria Essen to get the work done. Now a chance here for Philippines. Swung in. That's knocked down. And a pretty simple knockdown there for New Orleans as that one's played forward. Maybe a chance here for the Norwegians to break. Clipped out. Looking for a ball. It's not a bad ball, honestly, as it's out towards Frida Manu. Manu now on the right, able to get past one defender inside the box. Plays it low, cleared away. Not too far, though, as it's still in the box. Now edge of the box. Swung back in. A good chance. A shot. And it goes in the net. Goal for Norway. And it's the striker, Sophie Roman Haug, who breaks the deadlock here. 6 minutes in. First goal of this simulcast. Norway up 1-0 against Philippines. So with that, let's get an update in regards to that. So you still have Switzerland and New Zealand. As it's going right now, the Swiss are still up with 5 points. New Zealand's got 4 with that 0 goal differential. Now the question is for Norway. They're still at 0 goal differential as well. And this is where the second part comes in. Goals scored. That right there was Norway's first goal of this tournament. Now, the other thing is how these different markings work. is sometimes you have players that, or rather, it goes with points, goal differential, goals scored, and then it goes to discipline, so such as yellow cards and red cards. If it is still there, it's based off head to head. New Zealand beat Norway earlier in the opening match. So, in that regards, New Zealand will still have second place unless Norway can score more goals, and Switzerland New Zealand remains quite an interesting battle in the scoreless possession. But nonetheless, Sophie Roman Haug in the 6th minute for Norway, giving them a 1-0 lead. First goal of this 2023 Women's World Cup. Again, a Women's World Cup where in previous years, Norway's probably scored double digits in the course of 3 matches or so. Didn't really get an opportunity to kind of run rampant on a team. Didn't get it against New Zealand. Definitely did not get it against Switzerland. Maybe another chance for Norway. Again, the biggest thing for them is if they want to qualify, they've got to try to tack on the goals here. Another chance here. Ball played through out on the left. Inside the box once again. Ball played through again. It skips past. Oh, it's a good chance and a lucky break there for Philippines. Coming for Norway was number 4, Tuva Hansen. But as I said before, still remains the case. Philippines would bow out of this tournament with 3 points. Now, granted, Philippines suffered a 2-0 loss to Switzerland, as is right now. But again, for the Norwegians, the biggest objective for them right now is to keep on scoring goals. That's how they get to the knockouts. The other question is, and I thought about this earlier, New Zealand could get to a spot, a rather interesting spot, should they choose to do so. At the same time, you have so many different opportunities to get a win, and maybe they use it, maybe they don't. Again, that's their prerogative. By the way, on a Switzerland-New Zealand stream, they just showed the goal in Norway and Philippines. All right, now belonging to Sophie Roman Haug for the Norwegians. Nonetheless, back with Switzerland, New Zealand, it's the Ferns trying to go up the pitch and again losing the ball, cleared out there by, I believe, Maren Mayelda. Back in the box is Norway. Ball swung in, a shot, and actually was steered away there by the Philippines' Angela Beard. 10th minute in both matches, and again, Norway's just knocking on the door. The ball was swung in there by Guro Reiten. Again, looking for Roman Haug again. Corner taken short. Ball whipped in back post. Caught there by McDaniel. Back with Switzerland, Netherlands. Ali Riley with the throw-in, and we'll go back towards the midfield. Not too much development in that one at Dunedin. Auckland, quite interesting so far. Norway lost to New Zealand at this pitch a few weeks ago, trying to pull off a win to keep their Women's World Cup hopes alive. In their history, they've played in every single Women's World Cup, one of the 7 teams to have the privilege to do so. At the same time, they have only missed the knockouts once, and that was in 2011. Now, in 2011, too, they did not muster that many goals overall. And actually, when you look at the amount of goals they have mustered, it was pretty low overall. Can't tell how much, but was not good. Nonetheless, a chance again for Norway. Again, I believe it might have been Guro Reiten again. It was Reiten's on the left. It was actually Javi this time with a chance. Nonetheless, back with Switzerland and New Zealand, a corner kick coming up for the Ferns. Right-hand side of the pitch for them. Taking it will be Olivia Chance. Maybe a chance, no pun intended, for New Zealand to get on the board. Chance with the ball swung in. That's headed up by the Swiss. Ball swung in by Riley. Nonetheless, still in the area. Shot comes in. That's blocked. It was Bott with the chance. Nonetheless, back a corner kick for Norway. Norwegians are trying to argue there was a handball. They're not going to get it. So 12 minutes in. Let me take a quick water break because I don't think my voice is going to get a lot of rest. Let's put it that way. With all the action we're seeing. But as I mentioned, if you're just tuning in, we only have one goal so far. It was Sophie Roman Haug for Norway in the 6th minute. Gave them a 1-0 advantage, put their total for now at 4 points. However, despite being level with New Zealand when it comes to points, goals scored, goal differential, and yellow cards, believe it or not, they would not get to that spot because New Zealand beat Norway earlier in the tournament based off head-to-head. This one played back and actually cleared out. Again, New Zealand trying to maintain the damage as Stott was the one to clear it out. Trying to build out of the back with the Filipinas. And a throw-in, this time for number 13, Beard. Just trying to make sure everything's okay. It is right now. Beard on the left-hand side for the throw-in. Let's take a look at that. It looked like it just slipped out of her hands, simply put. Back with New Zealand in their back line. Clipped out, back towards the midfield it goes. There's a chance again. Riley, Bowen, and a chance of simplicity. Nonetheless, back with Norway and Philippines. Philippines with a throw-in into the box. Few arguments for handball, as it was cleared away by the Norwegians. Seen out, throw-in for Norway. Let's take a look at this. Again, there were a lot of calls. The ball looked like it just kind of stopped there by Mjelda. And again, her arm was up in towards her body as it kind of grazed there. Not much elsewhere. 14th minute in both matches. Switzerland and New Zealand tied up 0-0. Norway up 1-0 on Philippines. Out with Graham Hansen on the right. And with some answers, she's going center now, edge of the box. Tried taking a chance, and that shot was blocked. Back with Switzerland, Netherlands. Good run forward there by Bowen. Maybe a chance here for New Zealand to break. Bowen tried playing it through towards Wilkinson, but it was cut out there before Wilkinson could even find the ball. Throw-in for the Ferns deep in the attacking third. Trying to go tiki-taka for Norway. They're not going to get it there. It's Philippines with a chance to breathe. Again, Philippines with a chance to go for it. Nonetheless, a shot taken by New Zealand. Would have been quite an interesting finish there for Annalie Longo had she got it on target. But nonetheless, it skips out for a goal kick. Cleared out by Norway. Again, right back being, let's see, who's Myron Mjelda. I'm trying to see who's number 6 in the respective games, because you think about it, Switzerland and Norway are wearing very similar colors on their kits. Same goes for New Zealand and Philippines, although Philippines is going all white. New Zealand is wearing colored shorts. It's Bowen, meanwhile, throwing with Norway and Philippines. Now, chance again. Here's Longo for New Zealand. As the ball's in the back line for Norway against Philippines. Chances of tranquility on both sides. We're about 15 minutes in. Most possession going in favor of the Norwegians, 61%, 25% in favor of Philippines, 14 to be disputed. Chance with Switzerland again. Not so much motoring forward since then as the hosts try to get some sort of advantage. As I mentioned before, despite, as of right now, going to the Women's World Cup knockouts, you know Norway's got a prowess going. Speaking of which, maybe a chance to build here at midfield. Now towards Graham Hansen. She's motored into the middle a few times. Tried doing so, but nonetheless at the edge. Graham Hansen with a great run in. Able to keep it in play. Cross in, and that's headed away. Great combo on the right by Caroline Graham Hansen. Just couldn't find anybody in the box. Stays on the right-hand side, though. Chance again for Norway. Nonetheless, back towards their midfield it goes with Mjelda. Mjelda. A long ball sent in towards Roman Haug, and it's in again! Goal for Norway, and Sophie Roman Haug has herself a brace. 17th minute, and Norway, as it stands right now, is going to the knockout stage. So that's a big goal. How about that, too? Sophie Roman Haug. Not, again, of course, Caroline Graham Hansen and crew are going to get a lot of tout. But what a big goal. What a ball sent in as well. There's a look there. Couldn't tell. It was Borisa with the ball in. And again, very similar to the first goal. Just a header up, kind of glancing away from goal body-wise, but able to head it with enough power to just push it to the back post, a little out of McDaniel's reach. And with that, New Zealand's going to have to get a goal. Can they get it here as a cross sent in? Wilkinson goes down at the edge of the box once again. Still in the area. Players goes down, and it will be a free kick for New Zealand. And how about that for Sophie Roman Haug? Going into this tournament, she only got 5 goals overall. Now, granted, this is her 9th cap, so that's a pretty good pace right there. 9th cap and already 7 goals for her country. As I mentioned before, Norway is now in charge of that second spot with a +1 goal differential. As it stands right now, New Zealand only gets it back through a goal and winning it. So a chance here, about 25 yards out, free kick for the Ferns. Bowen lining up with the right. Other options for New Zealand include Olivia Chance. On the other side for Switzerland, Talman barking orders. Ball played through there is knocked away. Bowen lines up, deflected into the wall, either. Trying to go under in that regards. Percival into the box, still in the area. Shot goes deflected. Talman able to save it before it goes out, but again, chances was Longo again. Just couldn't get the cleanest of contact in the ball as they're saved again. Norway up 2-0. Chance to maybe build on 3. Doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of trying to build onto those goals that matters. They're in a good position right now. As it stands, they've got it. The only way, I don't know. It's an interesting question because Norway could essentially build onto that lead. Because you never know whether or not a draw could be strung up. Goals scored could also become a possibility. Now, granted, if it is a draw, Norway is still going to win it. So I guess that's probably might be the tactic there for Norwegian head coach, that being Hege Riise. I mean, as it is from now, it's just try to keep it in a position where they can do something. And then it's a matter of how do they square up against Switzerland in terms of goal differential and all that stuff. By the way, Switzerland is up +2. So in a hypothetical situation where New Zealand could get that winner, Switzerland drops down to a +1, and then it becomes a goal situation. In that regards, actually, Norway would be better because of yellow cards. They have less yellow cards than Switzerland. Nonetheless, 20th minute of play in both matches. 0-0 between Switzerland and New Zealand. 2-0 between Norway and Philippines. Both goals going towards the striker for today, Sophie Roman Haug. Again, going into this tournament, how about that? Already 7 goals in 9 caps. Could be quite a star for the Norwegians for years to come. And more importantly, as it stands right now, because of Norway getting a second goal, they have a chance to get to the knockout as a second seed. Now, granted, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is any way that Norway can get into the knockout as a first seed. They have to go second, which means presumably they're going to have to face Spain, possibly Japan, in their knockout stage match in the round of 16. Longo, a little tiki-taka for New Zealand. Foul call, free kick for the Ferns. As it is right now, Norway and Philippines in a good spot. Again, as I mentioned, that was the goal. Nonetheless, ball played down the right. Maybe a chance here. On the left, ball swung in, and that's going to be deflected out there by Philippines. Holly Long on the right-hand side. Another corner kick. Maybe a chance for Roman Haug to get a hat trick before this is all said and done. Back again we go. Yorsinovic trying to, or Kernogorovic, I should say. Kernogorovic. Fouled there, free kick for Switzerland. Nonetheless, corner taken for Norway. Graham Hansen skies it into the box. Roman Howe couldn't get a touch to it as it's headed out by the Philippines, rolls out on the touchline, so it will be a throw-in, as it looks like. Maybe Roman Howe got a touch to it, and it will be Philippines ball, but I was right originally. Let's see. Back with Switzerland, New Zealand, ball headed in, and it's an easy collect there for Victoria Essen. Ball going back and forth, headed down. Still bouncing in the area, still going towards it. Roman Howe got a touch, but it wasn't the best. Long ball sent forward by New Zealand. That's picked off there by Switzerland's Noel Maritz right before it could really cause any damage. Back with Norway, Philippines, Graham Hansen. Oh, it's a nifty turn, but still 25 yards out. Philippines good defensively. Can Norway break him down? Graham Hansen out to the right, crossed in. Didn't actually get into the box, rather out of the box, and little backtrack it goes. Switzerland and New Zealand. And again, Tallman a little bit worried. When you think about it, for Switzerland, it gives you added pressure because now you need to get a result. Ball swung in for Norway, and this time Roman Haugh's header is collected by McDaniel. Got hands on head. Meanwhile, New Zealand and Norway, again, the Ferns are attacking. I got to give credit to them. This was going to be more of a toss-up kind of game, and they've shown it so far. A chance for Switzerland. Maybe a chance to feed through. That's cut out there by Bot before anything could happen. Back with Bot. Still fighting on the right. Strangled there, so she'll earn a free kick. And how about this? There was a chance. I kind of sort of missed it, but it was a chance for Hand trying to chip it and ended up going off the crossbar. Very close chance for New Zealand. And also my apologies for not getting that in time. I'm Kirsten Hassan, about halfway through the first half in both matches. Again, as I mentioned, Norway, Philippines only 6 seconds ahead of Switzerland, New Zealand. It's not too much difference. Nonetheless, long ball sent in for Norway. That's headed away. Chance for Switzerland to break. Meanwhile, Norway again with a chance. Long shot trickles wide. Ferns on the break again. Ball played through, trying to find Wilkinson. That's cut out there by Steerley. She took the last touch, so it will be another corner kick, another chance for New Zealand. How about the chances? How about the chances? And again, another chance for Olivia Chance to swing this chance into the box. There you go. We like to mess with puns here. It's Sunday morning. It's 12:25 in the morning here. Ball sent forward. That's going to dribble back towards a goal kick for Olivia McDaniel and Philippines. Back with Switzerland and New Zealand. Chance to swing this into the box. Header still bouncing around, and that's cleared away. So many chances for the Ferns to maybe get a breakthrough. But the nervy moments for Switzerland has worked in their favor so far. They need to work a little bit more if they want to get a result. That's the simply put thing. If Switzerland gets a result today, they are on to the knockouts. If they lose, then as it looks like right now, New Zealand would take it. And then it's a matter between Switzerland and Norway to see who gets that second spot. Meanwhile, ball's picked off, and that will be trickled out before Norway could do any damage. Actually picked up by McDaniel. Free kick now for New Zealand in the 26th minute. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth we go. Two players in the wall, and Forsyth Bar Stadium starting to get to their feet for the home team. This is the road team, but nonetheless the home team. Rhea Percival to take the kick on the left-hand side edge of the box, though. Percival swung in, punched away there. Goes out, Bowen's shot blocked away. Nonetheless, New Zealand keeps it there. Swung back into the box, punched out again by Tallman. And again, retreating back is Roitala. She will clear this out on the touchline and throw it again. Chance again. It's Allie Riley with a shot, or rather a ball to put it back into play. Ref was initially going to check with VAR. Now, nothing seems to be issued for now. It's actually Tallman, Gael Tallman, the goalkeeper for Switzerland, down right now. She'll get some treatment. So back to Norway, Philippines we go. Still 2-0 in that one. And still Sophie Roman Haug making all the difference between Norway packing their bags and heading back to Scandinavia and them staying in New Zealand for a round of 16 match against either Spain or Japan later this week. So 28th minute. Norway in the back line. Harviken. Mayelda. Now Taya Bayelda. You got Mayelda, you got Bayelda, Hansen, and Harviken. So quite a lot of alliterations and a lot of rhyming schemes as well. Clipped out there by Boarisa. Out with Hansen on the left. Hansen gives it off towards Wrighton. Back with Hansen on the overlap. Ball dribbles through, clear away. Not the best clear, and retreating back there for Philippines. Couldn't tell who it was. It was Bolden. So throw-in. 28th minute, and Tallman able to get some treatment. She'll be able to take the goal kick here. Glad to see she's been okay. She's been under a lot of pressure here again. Listed as the road crowd, Switzerland needing a result. Back with Norway, Philippines. Got Javi on the left. Javi with the ball swung in, and that's headed up before anybody from Norway can make much of a difference. Graham Hansen following in on the right-hand side. Graham Hansen still fighting for the ball. Oh, what about those moves? Hansen into the middle, and a good chance there. Just skips wide. Roman Haug again. Would have been going in the back heel, back post for a hat trick, but it did take the slightest of deflection off a Philippines player. How about that? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Holly Long essentially saving a goal there. Otherwise, Norway's up 3-0, and essentially has got all power when it comes to tiebreakers. So Switzerland out on the left. Again, I think some of this also maintains how much does Switzerland want 3 points? How much do they just want to see this match out? That's a big question they have to ask as we're in the 30th minute for both matches. About 16 minutes plus stoppage time left. Corner for Norway swung in, punched away by McDaniel. That might have been getting Olympico on its name. That would have been an Olympico. Chest down. No goal yet in Switzerland, New Zealand. Norway, Philippines has gotten 2. For Nagorovic, played back towards Maritz. Oh, what a nifty move, or rather, almost getting a nifty move. So a lot of big actions from both sides. But again, 30th minute of play. Glad that you could tune in if you can on this Sunday morning, early Sunday morning for me, about 12:30 in Phoenix. Wherever you are, it might be later in the morning if you're on the East Coast. If you're in Europe, a good morning to you, a much more godly hour, unlike how it is here. Chance here for Norway. Javi out to Hansen on an overlap. Hansen into the box. A shot dribbling through, bouncing around. Still in the air. Graham Hansen's shot is blocked. Still going, and now cleared away there by the Filipinas once again. Switzerland and New Zealand remain stagnant for now, but that could change. Maybe a chance here. Graham Hansen from distance, and it's in! Golazo written all over it for Norway. They have made it 3-0 here in the 31st, and it has to be the one and only, the face of the team, Caroline Graham Hansen. A beauty as it is from distance. It is all Norway in Eden Park. They've got all the momentum when it comes to the tiebreakers. So now if you're New Zealand, now you really need a score because your season ends, or rather this tournament ends, if you cannot win this match. How about that too? And let's take a look at Graham Hansen's goal. Just no pressure on the ball. Long shot. And it goes in. How about that? Sophie Roman Haug, Caroline Graham Hansen. And there's not too many notable players. Now, granted, Norway has definitely had a history, but Nonetheless, Switzerland now with a chance. Sal goes down, pushed down, no foul called. Picked up, headed back by the Ferns. Think about it. Graham Hansen now with her 45th goal for her country, still 8th all-time on Norway's record list. But how about that? How about the day so far for Norway? Meanwhile, a chance in, or sorry, my bad. On Switzerland New Zealand stream, they're showing the Norway Philippines game. I thought there was an extra goal scored. I was wrong. My apologies. But nonetheless, 3 goals in Norway Philippines, 0 in Switzerland New Zealand. So now, question becomes if you're Norway, you're at a +2 goal differential. They've essentially gotten all power. So they could still hammer it on. Now, granted, they're going to end out in 4 points either way. I think more importantly, as this one's played through, that one's cleared away. The other important thing about that is Switzerland came in with a +2 goal differential. So in the event that New Zealand loses, or rather Switzerland loses to New Zealand, Norway will get Switzerland's spot. So essentially in any tiebreaker, as I said before, they're in the driver's seat. It runs through Norway right now. 33rd minute in both games, or 34th. Nonetheless, ball swung in, and they're trying to get 4th. Roman Haug tried to flick it on. I think Norway realized the amount of goals they scored in those first 2 matches and said, that's not our style. Let's tack it on. Nonetheless, back with Switzerland and New Zealand. Nonetheless, a chance for Norway again. Ball swung in, back out again, pipped up, and cleared away. Oh boy. It's becoming an onslaught here at Eden Park. Back with Javi, edge of the box. Javi, shot! Easy collect there for McDaniel. So chances again. More chances, I think, for Norway than any of the 4 teams, or any of the other 3 teams in that regards, we have seen tonight. Ball back with Switzerland. Out with Riesen. In the back line we go. Steely to Talman. Out with Maritz. New Zealand's pressure is starting to show up. Lost the ball there. It's back with Riley. Lost there in the middle. Maybe a chance here for Gorovic and crew. Gorovic, that's actually kind of close. Gorovic and crew to break. They're not going to break. 35th minute. 3 goals for Norway. 6th and 17th minute belonging to Sophie Roman Haug. And the 31st belonging to Caroline Graham Hansen. Maybe a chance for Switzerland. Again, at this point, they've got to hold on to a result if they want to get to the knockouts. They lose, they are out. So essentially, for New Zealand, this turns into a winner-take-all type game. Ball back in. Graham Hansen again at the edge of the box. This team is toying with Philippines right now. Javi again. Javi shot blocked. Javi with a redirect in. That's headed away there. But interesting play nonetheless. Switzerland, New Zealand, 36th minute. Ball back towards Talman as Switzerland looks to reset. Again, a lot of chances from both sides. And again, we'll probably take a good look at it at halftime, all the stats and stuff. As the ball finds the feet of Switzerland and Pubel now. Pubel, numbers track back. Gorovic out on the right here. Maybe a chance for Agbojinin. Ball sent in. Again, Switzerland's calling for a penalty. Sao, who went down as the leader of that, they're not going to get it. But nonetheless, great combos there. Is Agbogun with the send in. 37th minute. And you can tell that the group is shaping out the way Norway wants it right now. It turns out they're on a +2 goal differential, the same as Switzerland. So in the event Switzerland loses, Norway's got the best goal differential. They've got the best tiebreakers. New Zealand, who is currently tied with Norway in terms of points, if the match results we see hold up, is also in a predicament. Now they basically got to score. Unless Philippines get some consolation goals back, they've got to score. It's as simple as that. Offside called on New Zealand in a build-up about 30, 35 yards out from goal. Wilkinson, the one receiving the ball. Nonetheless, a chance again for Norway, and a ball sent back there. Oh, boy, close to an own goal there from Long. McDaniel's been pummeled with chances. That ball was sent in by Manu. Back with Switzerland, New Zealand. New Zealand had a good chance. Jackie Hand hit a shot off the crossbar. That's the closest that either team has gotten in Dunedin when it comes to scoring a goal. Could it change here in the next few minutes or so? Ball sent in once again, headed out by Aigbogun. Booted forward. It's a very lengthy game right now in Dunedin between Switzerland and New Zealand. Nonetheless, Philippines now in the attacking third. Long ball Bot trying to stay with it. Cut out there by Steerley. Steerley with a pip. A little bit of a collision. Play continues. As Bot pips it up, as Wilkinson goes over the head of her. Chances again. Back with Norway, Philippines. A long shot, and that's easily collected by Mikkelsen, their goalkeeper. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rosters in front of me. Jackie Hand is down for New Zealand. We've already seen Tallman get some treatment earlier. What it seems like we're going to see quite a bit of stoppage time in that one. Nonetheless, it has been Norway's world at Eden Park against Philippines. The winner of this group, by the way, will be playing at Eden Park for their knockout stage match against either Spain or Japan, as I mentioned before. Out on the left again. Ball played through. Maybe a fourth coming as Wrighton goes with the ball. Still going there. Wrighton plays in low. Again, another clearance there by Long. And that too, in the process, Wrighton able to get past Egesvik. Plays for Philippines, but born in Norway, played her entire career in Norway, both from a club perspective and from a national perspective up until now. Played at the U19 and U23 level. Decides to make the move towards Philippines to represent at the national level. Jackie Hand still getting some treatment here in the 40th minute. Like I said, 40th minute in both games right now. Not much difference elsewhere. Some balls back there for Norway. Back with Mayelda. And now whistle blows as Bolden is down. So a chance, a breather, a stoppage, if you will, for both matches. Now, Hand has gotten up onto her feet, just getting some treatment on the touchline. So Switzerland, New Zealand will resume pretty shortly. They got the wave going on. 25,000, probably the cleanest wave I've ever seen. I got to tell you, American Stadiums has got to take note of that. I mean, we saw it at Lang Park yesterday between France and Brazil. The Brazilian fans, who were the majority, oh boy, they were out in full force, and that includes in the wave as well. Both coaches looking on for New Zealand, Jitka Klimkova. Right now, the Ferns need a winner if they are to head to the knockouts. Norway has been the permanent force so far. Maybe a chance. Nope, cleared away. It feels like almost every time Norway gets the ball, there's going to be a legit chance. They're playing like the Norway of the 90s and the Norways of the 2000s, always playing as a contender, which we didn't necessarily see in the first two rounds. 41st minute, New Zealand, right now with 44% possession against Switzerland. The Swiss on the other side with 36%. Doing the math, that's about 80% in total, 20% in dispute. There. I didn't get a math major. I think if I wasn't a sports journalism major, I would have majored in math, but nonetheless. Oh, how about this chance for Switzerland now? A little bit of a rough touch there as Bowen's able to collect it. One making the run forward was Pubel. And not to mention, New Zealand is down a player as Hand gets treatment. Meanwhile, Caroline Graham Hansen is getting her shot measured, according to Telemundo. Maximum speed was 101 kilometers per hour. That's about 60 miles an hour, folks. That's pretty fast, especially from 25 yards out. Ball bouncing around. Wilkinson taken down. Free kick for the Ferns. Again, not too many stoppages in Norway, Philippines, Switzerland, Netherlands. Switzerland, New Zealand, not quite right now. And you think about Switzerland as well. If they hold on to this result, they would be onto the knockouts as a first seed too, which will now make 2 for 2 in their chances of appearing in the Women's World Cup and going to the knockout, although they qualified as a third seed in 2015 behind eventual runner-ups Japan and second place Cameroon. Not the best touch there by Reese, and she's trying to argue that Longo touched it last, and she did. The ref's just telling her to take it at a certain spot. Long ball again played towards the Norwegians. Ball played, bouncing up, bouncing down. Wilkinson trying to break through, but the monkey business cut out by Reeson. 2 minutes plus stoppage time in Dunedin and Auckland. Dunedin, host of Switzerland against New Zealand. Auckland, host of Norway against Philippines. Back with Merritz for Switzerland. Backline in both places. That one picked off there by Long. You think about it, even though they're down 3-0, Philippines still could have a chance to really show what they've got. I mean, not only from a competition level, and especially with the country, their citizens, their home country, essentially watching back in the Philippines. I mean, that's a big pride. I mean, you don't see the Philippines in a big situation, right? Maybe Summer Olympics, but not at the World Cup, not at the Men's World Cup at least. Big moment for that country. And not only that, but if you can cut into Norway's goal differential, then that's when this match gets really interesting. Now, in both matches, the play has been pretty clean. No yellow cards so far, knock on wood for that, depending on what team you're rooting for. One's cleared out by the Philippines. I believe it would have been Beard who did it. Now, ball played 4. That's headed away. If there's anything, Philippines is probably just trying to keep some momentum going their way. Now, granted, most of the attention in the second half will probably be towards Switzerland, New Zealand, because however that result turns out, if it's a win or a draw, a Switzerland win or a draw, then it's the Swiss going. Meanwhile, chance here for Philippines going forward. Not the best balls. A shot comes in from Switzerland. That's caught there by Essen. Meanwhile, Norway able to get back on the defensive side. Bielda clears it out. We'll have 3 minutes in Auckland for stoppage time. Fourth official yet to raise the indication in Dunedin. How about that chance, though, for Philippines? Isabella Flanagan was the one on the left. And Bielda able to cut it out. Flanagan called for something there. Nonetheless, edge of the box chance, and now cleared away by Switzerland. Norway. How about the chances today so far? In Switzerland against New Zealand, fourth official has given 5 minutes of stoppage time there. So Switzerland, New Zealand will be the second one to start up in the second half. Either way, it will lead to a shortened halftime for me. Ball goes out, trickles out. Throw in for the Ferns. Again, historic Women's World Cup already. This is their 6th appearance. Started off with their first ever win, which was 1-0 against Norway in the opener. And you're thinking to yourself, maybe this team can get momentum. Maybe they can take the group. Not so fast. They lost to Philippines 1-0 in match day 2. So now it comes down to match day 3. And especially with Norway up as it is, 3-0 against Philippines, it is now down down to this match. New Zealand needs to win to advance to the knockouts. Simple as that. And for Switzerland on the other side, they need to get a point. Booted forward only as far as a running bot. Ball played out. Bogan. 2 minutes through stoppage time in both places. About 3 minutes to go from Dunedin. About 1 minute to go from Auckland. Now chance again. Bachmann trying to play through. Not the best towards Pubel. Bachmann still running, and now that's cleared out. Ball trying to find Jackie Hand on the right, a little too far. But nonetheless, how are those chances today? Back on the left. It's Walty. Slowly makes it back towards Steely. Philippines in the attacking third, taken out. And here comes Caroline Graham Hansen again. Graham Hansen into the middle, looking for some options. And she's found her option there on the left. Wrighton into the box, headed away as it's cleared by the Philippines. Back with Switzerland. They're in attacking territory right now. Out on the wing, cut out there by Bot before, couldn't tell who it was. It was Reeson, by the way, who was out there. End of the first half in Eden Park in Auckland. Norway up 3-0 against Philippines. Sophie Roman Hau got the scoring started in the 6th minute and tacked on her second of the day in the 17th. She's on a hat trick if Higa Risa and crew want to feed the ball towards her in the next 45. And then it was Caroline Graham Hansen with a shot from about 25 yards out to make it 3-0. Still got about 90 seconds left in Switzerland versus New Zealand. As it stands right now, Norway is on to the knockouts as a second seed. Switzerland, presuming they will get a draw out of this, will get first. New Zealand in third will be on their way out, and Philippines would be in fourth. Again, that's the biggest thing with this Women's World Cup. With it being expanded from 24 to 32, the third seeds no longer get a bid. In other words, you need to get into the top two to get to the knockout. Pipped up high. Once again, hand the target. Wilkinson giving pressure. It goes back towards Tallman. Tallman cleared out. Reeson able to handle it on the left. A pitch. Bachmann. Valti. Again for Maritz. Bachmann again. Couldn't get the 1-2 going with their striker, Krunogorovic. New Zealand. The ball was played there. Couldn't tell. It might have been by Chance or Longo, one of the two. Longo, I think, was playing on the left. Chance on the right. I think they've swapped wings now. Chance on the left, Longo on the right. Won't be for long as the first half whistle will blow soon. And there it is. So 45 down at Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin. Scoreless between Switzerland and New Zealand, but nonetheless, chances for both sides. Jackie Hand hitting the crossbar earlier in the match. New Zealand needing a win to keep their hopes alive. Switzerland, all they need is a result. Again, I'm Hirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday morning here in the United States, Sunday night in New Zealand. I'll take a quick break, and I'll be back for the second half very soon right here on YouTube. Halftime in New Zealand, where it is 0-0 between Switzerland and the hosts, and in Auckland between Norway and Philippines, it is 3-0 in favor of Norway. I'm Harrison Hassan. Thanks for tuning in. What is a great Sunday morning? Well, not the best in terms of time. About 1 a.m. here in Phoenix, about 4 a.m. if you're on the East Coast. But let's recap the first half, and we'll start off with Norway, Philippines, because that's where all the goals were happening in the first. Sophie Roman Haug scored her sixth and seventh for her country in the 6th and 17th minute, respectfully. And then afterwards, Caroline Graham Hansen added her own ripper from about 25 yards out in the 31st minute. Switzerland and New Zealand has seen 0 goals so far, but chances on both sides, specifically with Jackie Hand, who had a shot in about the 24th minute or so that grazed off the crossbar but couldn't be redirected into the net. As it looks right now, this is how the table stands out. Switzerland is still on top of the group with 5 points and a +2 goal differential. Norway has now sprung into second with 4 points and the goal differential at +2. New Zealand has dropped down to 4 with 0, and Philippines now stands in third with a -4. So for Philippines, for the most part, their time here at the Women's World Cup is over after today's match, unless they can pull off the comeback of the ages and score the next 4 goals, possibly, to get into that spot. But nonetheless, all joking aside, it is between Norway and New Zealand for the most part for that qualification. Actually, to clarify, it is now between Switzerland and New Zealand. Because if you will, Norway is in a spot where it's 4 points. And Norway, mind you, cannot get first. They will be stuck at second. And in that regards, they will face the winner of Group C, which would probably be Spain. Not the best option out after a group stage match, which included a shock loss to New Zealand. Again, that's going to be controversial, but in my opinion, a shock loss to New Zealand. And then you follow it up with a draw against Switzerland. And as it looks, that's the reason why Switzerland is in first and Norway is in second. As it is right now, New Zealand's got 4 points. If they win this match, they get 6, and they'll be first in the group. So they'll actually be overpassing Switzerland. And because Norway has now a +2 goal differential, that means they would get the upper hand on Switzerland. Either way, yellow cards, which also kind of deal with tiebreakers, yellow cards have been minimal in both matches, as Switzerland has gotten, going into today, is at 2 yellow cards. Norway with 1, 0 in both matches through the first half. Norway and Philippines are back out at Eden Park to start off the second. Few more minutes left before Switzerland and New Zealand. They got a couple more minutes of extra time, so I would assume we have a couple more minutes of halftime. And for Norway, Hege Riise has been a part of this team for quite a while and led this team for quite a while as well. And you look at her type of history with the team brought on in 2012, coached the U19 level. She's got some experience coaching internationally, coached England as an interim in 2021, and Great Britain's Olympic team. So essentially, England at the Olympics also that year. So back we go. 45 down, 45 to go from Auckland. Philippines now going from left to right. Norway going from right to left. Not that it really makes much of a difference. It's just nice to look at it from an aesthetic angle. Sun is set, or rather the sun had set when both matches started. You may remember, or you may recall, it is winter. It is winter in Australia and New Zealand down under. Nonetheless, another chance for Graham Hansen and crew. Ball swung in, and that's going to get into the side netting. Automatically, Norway looking for their fourth. Just trying to assert the dominance, which honestly I kind of like. It's not ideal, but you have to appreciate the effort, especially for a team like Norway. And I think Hege Riise knows it. Playing the most caps out of all the Norwegians that have come through the system, a storied system over the past 30 years or so. With that, we're back underway in Switzerland and New Zealand. All eyes on this game to decide who hypothetically would join Norway in the knockouts. That one booted high up in the air. There was a nifty turn there by Ali Riley. To my knowledge, no changes made as we take a look at the table here on one of the Telemundo broadcasts. But as I mentioned, it's either Switzerland or New Zealand joining Norway in the next round. And that, too, you get bragging rights as the winner of the group. So not only do you, as it is right now, not only are you not facing Spain in a round of 16 matchup, but you get to have bragging rights as winning. That would be pretty good for host New Zealand. That would be pretty good for Switzerland as well. As I mentioned, Switzerland would go 2 of 2 in terms of going to the Women's World Cup and advancing to the knockout. Happened in 2015. Nonetheless, chance for Norway again. Ball swung in, a shot, and it goes in. It's an own goal, not the best, and it kind of sums up what has been a rough Filipino day when it comes to defending the box. This time, Alicia Barker called for the own goal in the 48th minute. All Norway, and it continues to be the case in the second half. Up 4-0 in the 48th minute. So now the ultimate question. Can Switzerland and New Zealand, one of them, break the deadlock in the next 44 minutes plus stoppage time or so? As we take a replay of it, not much Barker could really do. Another swinging ball in from Manum. But now, if you're wondering, that now touts Norway's goal differential to +3. So now a chance for Switzerland on the break in Dunedin. As I remember, all eyes still on them. Into the box, Riesen swung in. Into the box, Bachmann in the area, and that's cleared out. Ball left out. Into some space. Valti, still at midfield, or rather close to midfield. Good ball played towards Riesen. Cut out there by Bott. Throw in deep in the attacking third for Switzerland. How about the goals today? So many chances. And Javi with a chance to almost make it 5-0. I think, as I mentioned, Norway trying to put the coffin and then some, trying to bring the salt into the wounds for Philippines. I think they might be calling for a handball here in the 50th minute as one of the Norwegians was taken down. And you have got, if Norway gets a penalty, you got Graham Hansen, who got the goal in the 31st. You got Roman Haug, who is actually on a hat trick right now. His goals in the 6th and 17th. The ref's going to go to VAR in Auckland to check. Norway could be on the doorstep to goal number 5. Meanwhile, goal number 1 has yet to come in Dunedin between Switzerland and New Zealand. Chances on both sides, and pretty interesting start. And I think more importantly, all eyes turn to New Zealand. Switzerland can still get a draw, and they would still be on to the knockout. It's all New Zealand now. Meanwhile, we're going to get a look here. Was Reiten in the box for Norway, dribbling there. And I believe it was Eggesvik, her fellow Norwegian. Well, in terms of nationality, her fellow Norwegian. In terms of teams, not, as Eggesvik plays for Philippines. There's Eggesvik in the area, and I believe there might be a push there. They're calling one on Jacqueline Sawicki for Philippines. Referee still at the monitor in Auckland. 50th minute in both, or 50th minute in Dunedin, 51st minute in Auckland. And a penalty is given in Auckland. Jacqueline Sawicki called for the tripping penalty. And things, as I mentioned, they've been going from bad to worse for Philippines as this match has progressed. Could we see a change here? Meanwhile, Switzerland, edge of the box. Kernogorovic lays it off. Agbogun. on the right. Agbo going lifted in. Sal with the header, trying to play back. Goes towards Longo as she clears it away. Caroline Graham Hansen will be the one to take the penalty for Norway, not Sophie Roman Haug. Again, chances upon chances upon chances. Collision in Switzerland and New Zealand was Nadine Reeson went down. Are they going to give a foul here? And they might give a foul on Bonds. It's close to the area, about 25 yards out, if they decide to give it. I don't think they will. Meanwhile, penalties taken, and Norway is up 5-0 on Philippines. The onslaught continues at Eden Park in the 53rd minute. And a +4 goal differential for Norway. Left-footed shot. McDaniel dives to her left. Graham Hansen, with a lot of pace in the ball, too. Slides it to McDaniel's right. Cool, calm, and collected. And what is turning into a almost perfect night for the Norwegians. Longo with the turn. Playing it up. Try to go 1-2 there with Steinmetz. Didn't work. Still in the area, now out. Maybe a chance. Out towards Wilkinson. Wilkinson able to collect. Looks like we might have had a change between Switzerland and New Zealand. Let me check that real quick. I'm starting to see a number 20 for New Zealand show up. Let's see. Meanwhile, we got a yellow card in Norway and Philippines. Might be on Alicia Barker, I think. Let me check out. It's one of the two. Okay, so Olivia Chance is off for New Zealand. India Paige Riley, number 20, slides in that spot. So another chance. New Zealand laid off. Ball played. Cleared up. Do we see a chance here? Meanwhile, 6 could be coming. Another shot. That goes wide. Graham Hansen on a hat trick as well at this point. So close. So close. Try to make it 6-0. 54th minute. Back in Switzerland, or back with Switzerland, I should say, where this game is played in New Zealand. I'm calling this in the United States. We're very far away, thousands of miles away from Switzerland right now. Ball play through. Oh, that's a good ball in. Maybe a chance here for Switzerland. Now in the clear, trying to cut it back. Oh, and it's that cutaway there. Last minute by Bowen tracking back. It was Pubel who was entering the area. Pubel, who had an interesting mark on the match against the Philippines, I believe. She might have scored a goal on that. Yes, she did. Pubel scored a goal, and Bachmann did as well. Bachmann getting the winner in that one. Percival, back to Riley. New Zealand's team has been very known for a lot of their caps. Again, Percival, Riley, Wilkinson, many of them above the 100 mark. In the biggest match in their country's history, do they show up? Do they get the goal they need? They've given the ball right back. Here's Pubel again. Ball played through with Bachmann, not the closest one as it goes out on the left. Bachmann still stumbling, cut out there by Bott. Corner kick. Meanwhile, Philippines with a rare chance to attack here. Maybe get a consolation goal back against the Norwegians. Taking the corner kick for Philippines will be Egesvik from the left side of the pitch. Far side from the view. Swung in, punched away, cleared up. Now corner kick for Switzerland on the near side of the pitch, nonetheless on the left side. Caught there by Essen. Still scoreless as we're 55 minutes through at Forsyth Bar Stadium in Dunedin. See some changes for Philippines as Flanagan and Barker head off. And in place, Randall and Harrison will slide in. And kind of interesting point, and again, I should have maybe noted this earlier, but so many Filipino players, or especially for this women's side, only 2 of them were born in Philippines. Many of them born in the United States. Flanagan and Barker included. Harrison and Randall, who just checked in, also fall in that category. In total, maybe about 8 to 10 players. The Guardian listed the American-born Filipinas at around 8 on this team. I think it's actually more like 10 or 12 when you look at who was actually born in the United States. The ball's played down the line. Fighting for the ball there is Guillo. And look at the players on the squad. Serrano and Castañeda, neither of which are in the match right now, are the only players on that squad born in the Philippines. So there's your fun fact of the day at, well, some ungodly hour here in the United States. Back and forth we go. Ursinovic, Bachmann on the right, swung in, caught there by Essen. Switzerland started to play in some open spaces where New Zealand has allowed them to flourish. Nonetheless, ball swung in, and Norway, especially Mikkelsen, able to collect. And she probably wants to keep a clean sheet at this rate. Oh, it's an interesting scrap there. Valti went down. The 8th. Still 5-0. Philippines is calling possibly something. It might have been one of their players just calling for the ball. So no foul. Again, 5 goals in this time frame, all of which belonging to one team, and that's Norway. 2 with Sophie Roman Haug, 2 with Caroline Graham Hansen, and an own goal from Alicia Barker. Could it be 6? That went a little too far for Roman Haug. Meanwhile, chance with Essen off her line. What can Pubel and Switzerland do with it? She tried playing it out towards Sal, but missed opportunity. That was about 35 yards out where Essen was off her line. Back with Norway again. Shot dribbling through. Still bouncing around. Back again. A curling shot goes wide. Norway is out toying and dicing with the Philippines right now like they're garlic. Back with Switzerland and New Zealand. Again, Norway, Philippines at this rate, from a goal line perspective, from a game perspective, is over. Norway is going on to the knockouts. Question is, who joins them? Meanwhile, chance here for Switzerland to break. Reutela going forward. Reutela laying it off towards Sal. Still about 25 yards out. She'll lay it off towards Eikbogen. Eikbogen headed away as Bowens, just a little out of reach for Bachmann. A little too far for, looked like it might have been Hannah Wilkinson. Yes, it was Hannah Wilkinson. Goal kick. 60 minutes through, Norway up 5-0. Almost 60 minutes, 59 minutes through. 0-0 between Switzerland and New Zealand. What has been an interesting match down the stretch, but has been lacking the goals when it's mattered. I should clarify that. Norway has not lacked goals. Everybody else has. Meanwhile, Essen down on the pitch will need some treatment here. She's trying to boot the ball away. It went off of her shin. Non-contact, so maybe it was a strain potentially. Nonetheless, Jitka Klimkova and crew continue to cheer on the Ferns. While they're doing that, they're actually giving an update on Norway, Philippines, on the penalty that was given. Meanwhile, Philippines was trying to get at least some consolation is starting to get back into that territory. Essen is still down on the ground for New Zealand. Again, no indication right now on whether or not the Ferns could go to the bench for goal. Got Essen making her 17th cap, Erin Naylor on the bench, another person in her late 30s. Naylor shows up, it would be her 85th cap for the IFK Norrköping player. That's in that team, if you're wondering, is in Sweden. And Essen playing for Rangers, one of the two players for Scotland, or rather playing in Scotland, Essen being one of them. And then on the other side, Olivia Chance playing for the rival team in that part of the land, Celtic. The men's team rivalry, always known as Old Firm, one of the biggest and best in the world. Back with Philippines, and again, unable to string a chance here about 25 yards out. Klimkova gives some more directions from the bench. Looks like we're going to have a couple of changes for New Zealand coming up. Number 3 and number 12. Ball sent in. No penalty called. But nonetheless, Longo's day is done. Same goes for Rebecca Stott. And maybe this is the chance for New Zealand where they can officially say, let's go into the bag of tricks. Let's get some offensive powerhouse into this one. Claudia Bunch in, and also coming in is Betsy Hassett. So Hassett being number 12, Claudia Bunch being number 3. Yeah, as I mentioned before, we got 28 minutes, but as it stands right now, with Norway up 5-0 on the Philippines, aka winning the goal differential battle, and New Zealand tied with Switzerland. In this case, would put them at 3rd in the group. The Ferns need a goal here to keep their Women's World Cup hopes alive, and in this regards, would knock out Switzerland. So for the hosts, it's a win or go home type situation. Crazy to think that going into this Women's World Cup, I don't think a lot of these teams, probably a lot of people in New Zealand either, expected the team to, at the very least, have a fight. Going into this one, they had never won a Women's World Cup match. They beat Norway in the opener at Eden Park. Unfortunately, lost to Philippines, which complicated their situation going into today. But I'll direct this to the other side of the pitch for Riley. Now with Bunch. That one's cut out there. Igbogun going up. Nifty turn as well to maintain possession. You look at New Zealand's lineup. Betsy Hassett listed as a midfielder. Bunge listed as a defender. So, again, not necessarily a like-for-like change, according to this spreadsheet. But nonetheless, Stott heading off. Maybe a chance for New Zealand if they want to. When do you start pulling the trigger and take out a center back and start playing desperate? You don't need to really go there. Meanwhile, the referee for Norway Philippines is back at the VAR monitor for a possible red card. As I mentioned, Norway has already built a substantial lead. So for Philippines, even if they are up a player, it would have to do a lot of work to try to make Norway's qualification to the knockouts complicated. Right now, they're in a pretty good spot. Kernogorovic coming for Switzerland. That one plays cut out. Again, for the most part, and again, we can pull up possession. It is mostly, well, it's about 50-50. 51% for Switzerland, 49% for New Zealand. I think they're trying to call a red card. They might actually be calling a red card on a Philippines player. It's listed in white. So, again, for a team that played pretty close against Switzerland, actually scored the first goal, would have scored the first goal had it not been for the offside flag and a VAR check in that regards, would have been up on Switzerland. Team that beat the host, New Zealand, in a stadium that was against them in that regards. Not the best. Not the best finish. And to make matters worse, Philippines will be playing these last 24 minutes plus stoppage time down a player. And actually be one of the bench players in that regards. Number 16, Sophia Harrison. So a short-lived day for Harrison on the pitch of Eden Park. So back to the back line it goes. So back again. Spinning around, dashing around. And picked off again. Bachman trying to play through, and maybe a chance here for Pubel. Onside Pubel with a shot. She was going towards the near post, and rather than cutting back, she was going to stay out there to shade. Either way, it was offside. You can feel a tension in the air at Forsyth Bar Stadium. Norway has done their work, and now it's up for Switzerland either get a dagger in the form of a goal that would essentially almost nullify New Zealand's chances, or New Zealand get a goal, and then they would be in the driver's seat to win Group A. Also, that regards to Harrison being sent off. Not the first red card we've seen in this tournament, but the first in Group A play. Bachman trying to play through for Roitila. Bot's going to find that ball before Roitila can. Booted forward by Essen. 23 minutes plus stoppage time left in Dunedin. And Switzerland beat Philippines 2-0 here. This is New Zealand's first match in I believe, what is the southern New Zealand city. Again, forgive me on my New Zealand geography, but I believe it is somewhere near that area. Close towards Auckland, but not that close. Or actually, I think Dunedin's south of Wellington. I'm going to have to pull it up on a map after this one's done, but you understand my point. Nonetheless, chance for Norway trying to go for the chip. And again, the razzle-dazzle of Graham Hansen on a hat trick just couldn't square it away. As I said, I still have Norway Philippines, but it's on a smaller screen right now. Switzerland New Zealand has all the attention. Throw in. Out again on the left. Dribble down. Back with Krunogorovic. Reeson. Steerley. Trying to play a long pass back towards her striker. That's cut out by Hassett. Throw in for the Swiss. Philippines down 5 goals and now down a woman. Still in the attacking third, though. Gets a cross off, and they'll get a corner kick on the right side of the pitch. Switzerland on the other side. Reeson rather, bullied. Can't get it off towards her center back. Alicia Lehman getting ready to come in. Back with New Zealand. Steinmetz. Out towards Riley on the left. Riley playing a long ball forward. That one's headed away there before Wilkinson can do any damage. Back with Maritz. Good play there. It was number 16, Jackie Hans, still in the match. Again, had a chance off the crossbar in the first half. And that's pretty much it. Everything else has been against New Zealand. Rather, that's been the only chance. Meanwhile, Sal commits a foul, and it's a free kick for the Ferns. As I mentioned, in terms of goals, New Zealand Not with much overall, but nonetheless, a lot of goals, especially from the players we've seen. Change coming for Switzerland as Voitila will be off. We did see Leishman taking off her training jacket. Could see her, could see somebody else. Nonetheless, a solid shift by Voitila in the midfield, and will indeed be Alicia Lehmann coming on for Switzerland. Swiss looking to see this out. Chance for Norway now. Ball sent in. Can't find Graham Hansen. Rebound's taken in. A shot's blocked. That's cleared away. Norway trying to embarrass Philippines right now. I mean, they've done a successful job already, but now it's just about adding salt to the wounds. Back with Switzerland, New Zealand. Jail ready to come in for the Ferns, and she will be replacing Rhea Percival. So Percival, known for having the most caps for the Ferns over the years, will be off, and she'll be replaced by Jail. Grace Jail, 24-year-old, now making her 18th appearance. Bowen to take a free kick for New Zealand, for the co-hosts. Right-footed into the box, headed up there by Grunisovic. Still in the area. Krunogorovic with the original header. My apologies if I've gotten that wrong throughout the night. Figured I would, but again, things happen. Ref's going to hold play here, and now she'll leave it. 73rd minute in Dunedin. 18 minutes plus stoppage time left. Norway continues pushing. A chance here, and that shot goes too high. I tell you, Caroline Graham Hansen is just looking for that hat trick. Seen one hat trick already. That's from Ari Borges against Panama in match day 1. Brazil ended up winning 4-0 on that day. Wilkinson getting the ball down the right-hand side. That's cut out there by Reeson, who took the last touch. Corner kick for New Zealand, for the Ferns, for the co-hosts. I mean, we need to find some more names. More changes, Sawiki and Boldenhoff for Philippines. And coming on in their place will be Uge and McDaniel. That is C. McDaniel, wearing number 14. Not Olivia McDaniel, who is listed as the goalkeeper. Bowen to take the corner kick for New Zealand. 74th minute on the right-hand side. Graham Hansen to take a corner kick for Norway. That one's not even going to find the place of play. Bowen, meanwhile, finds it into the box. A chance going, a shot, and it goes right towards Talman. Steinmetz, the one with the chance about 15 yards out. And so it remains scoreless. Would end out scoreless? Does Switzerland get a winner? Does New Zealand get a winner? As it stands right now, Switzerland wins the group. Norway gets second with 4 points. New Zealand will be the first team out, and Philippines will take the basement spot in the group. Played through. That's cut away again. It's an interesting energy of how the crew, that is Kova, has managed this game from not just bringing in players, but how to bring in players. Who do you bring forward? Do you decide to risk it all? Because essentially, New Zealand needs to win this game. If it ends out in a draw, it's essentially a loss. And maybe it's a sense of not holding possession. Maybe it's a sense of not pushing high enough. But something needs to be done if you're a New Zealand fan. And you probably know it as well. Another corner kick for Norway. Out again. Ball sent in. That's headed away. Back with the Switzerland center backs, Maritz, Steely, actually with Valti, who's gone back. Back towards Talman. Booted forward. 75th minute, about 15 minutes plus stoppage time left. Philippines goes on a break. They're actually at 2-on-5, so they're going to need more numbers. They'll pass it back. Ball played over the top. Tried chesting it down, but that's an easy collect by Mikkelsen. Would be quite an achievement for Philippines if they can end out this 2023 Women's World Cup with a goal. Speaking of goal, we haven't seen any goals in Dunedin. It's a goal kick for New Zealand. I feel, again, I have a black tongue, so this might be true, but it feels like whatever we see now might be like evidence of something like we've seen from Landon Donovan, right? U.S. against Algeria in the 2010 Men's World Cup. Meanwhile, Pubel with a chance. She tried playing it towards the middle, towards Lehman, but that was cut out there by Bowen. Back with Bott. Steinmetz. And a good combination between the two. Steinmetz leaves it off. Paige Riley. Swung in. High ball in, back post. Can't find Wilkinson. Nonetheless, ball comes in. A crashing run from the right-hand side. Unable to handle it, Jackie Hand. Foul called. And looks like treatment will be needed for number 13 of Switzerland. That being Leah Valti. Valti listed as the Swiss captain, 98 caps, 5 goals for the team. One of the few players that's played in the 2015 Women's World Cup and was named captain in 2019. A rough miss for Switzerland, a close one as they were fighting for qualification. Unable to get it during that time. Again, that might be a problem that the Swiss won't encounter that much in the future, knowing that there are now 32 spots in the Women's World Cup, no longer 24. You can tell there's some tension inside Forsyth Bar Stadium. I've said it now, and it's grown over time. Going in length, crescendoing in length as the crowd is silenced. Ref walks back towards midfield. And now she's talking with Kruna Gorovich. The wave continues on. Still doing quite well. Not as fervent as it was in the first half. Probably some of the cleanest waves I've seen. Smoothest in that regards I've seen at the Women's World Cup. Again, quite popular in the 80s and 90s. Still done at some Major League Baseball games here in the United States. But not much. Not as clean as that. So I do give credit. Nonetheless, chance here for New Zealand in peril. Again, their fellow co-host Australia also in peril. They're going to have to pick up some points tomorrow against Christine Sinclair in Canada. I'll be doing a live react for that game, along with the other one, Nigeria against Ireland. Back to the right, Jackie Hand lost it there on the touchline. 79th minute. And a lot of forced errors. Steinmetz leading all the players in that regards with 14. Roitala tied for second with 11. And the question remains is when or if do you bring that extra attacker in? I mean, India Paige Riley listed as a forward. You could bring in someone like Paige Satchel, Gabby Rennie, who made some minutes against Norway. She could come in as well, as that one's cleared out by Steerley. Headed down, back with Steinmetz, about 25 yards out. Oh boy, stream's buffering. Well, play continues. Ad goes. Throw in for Philippines. Still down 5-0. About 10 minutes plus stoppage time left there. It keeps on ticking. Gift that keeps on giving for Norway. Nonetheless, ball swung in. A header easily collected by Tallman. And that dude was Bung, who just came in. Tallman decides to play it into open space out in some area, as it was Reeson trying to play through for Lehman. Cleared out. Throw in for Switzerland. Again, Switzerland doesn't need a goal, but a goal here would essentially be the equivalence of 2 goals late in the match. Not only does it put the game in your favor, it puts the game out of reach. Reason deflected out there off of Paige Riley. Will be a corner kick if it stands. Yes, indeed. Corner kick for Switzerland. They are past the 80-minute mark as well. So less than 10 minutes plus stoppage time in both matches. 5 goals all going in favor of Norway against Philippines. 0 between Switzerland and New Zealand. And that too, brace for both Sophie Roman Haugen, Caroline Graham Hansen for Norway, and pair that with an own goal. Nothing yet. And probably the biggest match so far of this 2023 Women's World Cup. Ball swung in, deflected out, cleared away there by Paige Riley. Chances continue. Chances keep on piling up. And maybe looks like we'll see some more changes for the side. So Caroline, I should stand corrected. It was Wrighton who took the penalty kick. Hannah Wilkinson will be off for New Zealand. And in her spot, Gabby Rennie. So you've taken out some of the experienced ones. Now, granted, Jackie Hand, not that experienced, at least compared to Wilkinson, but nonetheless, Hand listed 24. Rennie at 22, right now playing with the Arizona State Sun Devils, forks up in that matter. Try to get something there. What a moment it would be for her if she sends New Zealand to the knockouts. 83rd. Hasn't been a titanic struggle of a match, but it seemed like it at times. Ball played through for Lehman. She's on side for now. Trying to get past Bung. Lehman, almost playing as a striker position, or more of a winger at this point. And Switzerland probably getting more defenders back at this point. Pubel into the box, falls for Bachmann about 25 yards out. Leaves it off. Valti out on the end. And the cross there by Agbogun headed away. Back again with Switzerland. What can they do in this moment? That one dribbled out, and Maritz, not the best touch. And Sao, whoever it is, trying to keep it in play. And she didn't. And Sao was still playing like the whistle was not blown. She went down. No foul was called, rightfully so, because the whistle had blown. 84th minute to play. Switzerland scored 11 goals in the group stage last year in 2015. That didn't include a 10-1 win over Ecuador. This year, only 2, and that 2 were against Philippines. A scoreless draw against Norway, and as it stands, a scoreless draw against New Zealand. Looks like we might see a few changes for the Swiss. They're going to go with 2. It might just be 1 right now. Actually, it will be 2. So the 2 attacking midfielders, Pubel and Bachmann, are off, and in their place will be number 16 and number 18. So that being number, hold on, let me pull it up. I got New Zealand's lineup. We got number 18, Viola Caligaris, coming in for Bachmann. And coming in for Pubel will be Sandrine Marin. So a lot of options here. A lot of young players getting some opportunities late in this one. 5 minutes plus stoppage time left. I don't know if Mr. Black Tongue might speak right about now in terms of when we could get a goal. New Zealand scored late against Norway about the 80-something minutes. But it's Hannah Wilkinson. She is on the bench. She was just subbed off. Here's Gabby Rennie on the right. Cut out there. Cut out by Reeson. Nonetheless, long ball sent in Norway, Philippines, into the Philippines area. Not the best. Still a 5-0 game. The Philippines, I mean, despite being down a players, actually played pretty well in terms of attacking options, still going long balls forward, still with numbers. I mean, you think about it, they're down 5-0. They've got nothing to lose at this rate. They're playing like it is such right now. Ball laid off right towards New Zealand, and not the best pass there by Rennie. Throw in again. Bowen trying to get away from Lehman. Bung with the touch, Bot as well. Rennie tracing back. Keep possession of it. Bot to Bowen in the back line in the midfield as it goes from right to left for New Zealand. Riley towards Hassett. Has been playing better. Again, you got changes on both sides, about 5 or so in the area. You got Grace Jane playing on the left, I believe. And Rennie there subbing in for Wilkinson. 87th minute. It's remained stagnant for a while and haven't seen a goal in the past 30 minutes or so. This is Norway from the spot to make it 5-0 against Philippines. That's it. Pretty easy day when it comes to the goals in the office. Long ball, back with hand, Hassett. Out towards James on the left. Hassett again, cutting inside, chipped in the box, caught there by Tallman. 88th minute. 3 minutes plus stoppage time left. Hassett, the initial first touch. Now it's out there with Maurin, wearing number 16. Coming in for Bachmann, or rather Pubel, a little bit earlier. Back with Norway. Can they get maybe a 6 here? Into the box, played through. A shot comes in, saved by Olivia McDaniel. So many chances. Ay, ay, ay. When you think about it, too, Spain beat Zambia 5-0. Japan beat Zambia 5-0. So this is now the third 5-0 result we've seen. A few routes here and there. Some rather unexpected, like Sweden beating Italy. So actually now this is the fourth 5-0 result we would see if the scoreline holds in Auckland. In Dunedin, still 90 seconds left in what has been an interesting struggle. Few chances, but not too many shots. None of them, rather, not too many of them on goal. Only one shot on goal for Switzerland, 2 shots in general. New Zealand's been more promising. 10 shots, 3 of them on goal. Could be a precursor to what we could see next. Lehman on the right, as it gives it back into the middle, crossed in and caught. Hasn't wasted no time on the redelivery. By the way, Norway, Philippines has 11 minutes of stoppage time. About 1 minute before we get the reading from Dunedin with Switzerland and New Zealand. Oh boy. Rennie's trying to argue with the ball there. They're trying to get the ball back in that regards off Caligaris. So many chances. Does it end out in a goal in the end, or does Switzerland survive? Back now with Krunogorevich. Dribbling passion there. When does Switzerland decide to rock the baby? When does New Zealand decide to throw the kitchen sink? 90 minutes through. Meanwhile, Norway, Philippines, ball deflected in, and it's cleared away. So many chances. Again, that's probably my most common line. I'm going to look back at this and say Do not say that line again. But again, Norway has come to fruition at the same time. I don't know what to say because they can play this way against Spain or they can play this way against Japan. Either way, they could possibly be a threat to kick one of those stalwarts out in the round of 16. 8 minutes of stoppage time, by the way, for New Zealand to try to keep their hopes alive and Switzerland to clinch their ticket. Ball sent into the area. Still bouncing around, still ticky-tacker around. Hassett lays it off. Ball played throughout towards Rennie on the right. She's dashing forward at pace. Able to keep play on the right. Going up against Reeson. Cross deflected, still in play. Sent in by Paige Riley. Back post, headed down. Not on target, though. And Grace Jane with a chance. Shot there. Couldn't tell who it was. It might have been number 21 for Norway. So, again, it's actually McDaniel. Olivia McDaniel the chance. Back with New Zealand and Switzerland. Got about 9 minutes of stoppage time left in Norway, Philippines. About 7 minutes left with Switzerland and New Zealand. Back with Rennie on the right. Crunching tackle made by Reeson. Out for a throw-in deep in the attacking third. Do we get a thriller? Bott checked in with Hassett. Back with Bott. Back with Hand, I should say. Hand on the right. Cleared off. She will get the corner kick deflected off of Kerner Gorovich, who's essentially gone back. And she knows it too. A costly corner kick for Switzerland. Sorry. It's 2 a.m. here in Phoenix. And slowly but surely I'll get used to these night broadcasts. And how about this? New Zealand is throwing the kitchen sink in. Essen going all the way up. We still got about 5 minutes left in stoppage time as Steinmetz from the right-hand side whips it into the box. Essen heads it up. Still there. Rennie heads it down, and it's cleared away by Sau. Sau's going to boot this all the way back towards goal. Not enough velocity to send it into the net, but nonetheless, New Zealand continues. Norway with the shot, chance across the box. Very close to making it a sixth. Ball clipped forward, headed out by Reeson. Switzerland defending for their life. New Zealand attacking for their life. Maybe a chance we see Essen again. And so a change is made. This one will be defensive. Grnogorovich off. Heading on will be number 22 for Switzerland. Number 22 being Miriam Terkun. So not entirely. Again, I keep on thinking it, but I keep on getting it wrong. But nonetheless, we probably give maybe some chance for Lehman to get 4, just in case Switzerland wanted to get a winner. Officially put this in the dust. Meanwhile, Norway, Reiten into the box. Header, and that's in the net. So icing on the cake for the Norwegians. Calm as you like it. They have played well, and it's Sophie Roman Haug who started off the scoring all the way back in the 6th minute to get it in stoppage time. With that, you can give her the hat trick. 6-0. What a performance by Norway. Back to New Zealand we go. Back to Dunedin we go, I should say. Both of these matches are in New Zealand. Norway, Philippines, and Auckland. Switzerland, New Zealand in Dunedin. The ref give a free kick there? Possibly. And now about 3.5 minutes left in stoppage time. Bott was running there, and Terkun, fresh off checking in, left it off. Pushed her to the ground. That is Bott. Free kick for Bowen. Once again, Essen, the goalkeeper, back in the box. Fans getting on their feet. Their 2023 Women's World Cup campaign will be decided in the next 3 to 4 minutes, New Zealand. Same goes for Switzerland. Bowen. Edge of the box, whistle blows. Pipped forward. Essen header! Just wide. That would have been something, though, but oh boy, Essen again. And she'll wrestle back. This time the header went out of play. So No chance for Switzerland to get on a counter and get the first goal of this match. But 2.5 minutes. And you can tell New Zealand's minutes to try to keep their hopes alive are coming to an end. Talman sent back. Ball back towards, all the way back towards the defensive half now. Back with Bowen. Really not too many field players back as that one's sent forward. Bassett brings it down. Rainey, who's essentially playing center mid, trying to play there. Steinmetz with the ball sent forward, a little too far for Grace Jail. 2 minutes left from Dunedin. Ball chested down. Terkun leads it off towards Lehman. That's cut out there by Jung, or Bung rather. Has it again. Left on the left-hand side. Longo keeps it up. Has it again. Right-hand side, left-hand side clipped in. That's headed away there. Sumptuous too by Steely. About a minute and a half left as Lehman will get the ball for Switzerland. When does Switzerland decide to go for the corner flag too? That's another big question to ask. Six goals today in this match, or rather two in these two matches, all belonging to Norway. None for Philippines. They've got 3 minutes left from Eden Park. Once again, Essen going forward for New Zealand. 40 seconds left. Might be one of the final opportunities for the Ferns. Bowen with a long ball sent into the box. Essen can't get a header. Cleared again. Steinmetz's shot deflected away. Cleared out by Terkun. Throw in now for the Ferns. Bot to take it. Short one down. Pipped up and Hand cannot keep it in play. Joga Bonito, not the best option as it goes out. And with that, the clock slowly trickles to 8 minutes at Dunedin. What is a fervent and now boo bird starting to ring around Forsyth Bar Stadium. Talman with the goal kick. And with that, 90 minutes are in the book here at Forsyth Bar Stadium. And we come across a silent Forsyth Bar Stadium, except for the rally cries of the Swiss. They held the Ferns to 0 goals, despite getting 0 goals of their own, a scoreless draw. And with that, Switzerland will win Group A and is on to the knockout stage. 2 for 2 when it comes to appearing in the Women's World Cup and now going to the round of 16. It happened in 2015, although they ended up doing it as the 3rd seed. This time, they go in as the winners. Last few minutes in Norway against Philippines, shot off the post, a save again. And it was Wrighton trying to get her 2nd goal. She got her first from the spot. And how about this? So many good chances. As we have about 45 seconds left. As it stands right now, Switzerland is on to the knockout stage, surviving the barrage from New Zealand throughout this with 5 points. They go with the +2 goal differential as well. Norway, as it stands right now, again, came into this one with a -1. They stand at a +5 goal differential with 4 points. New Zealand will bow out of the tournament with 4 points, but a 0 goal differential. Philippines, as it stands right now, will be last with 3 points, and their goal differentials sitting at around -7 right now. 11 minutes through here. Whistle could blow any moment from Eden Park. Free kick in favor of Norway. Probably one last kick of the ball, maybe from Mikkelsen and crew. Again, a lot of great moments for Norway. And there was some doubt. They entered today being last in the group. There was a lot of doubts on whether or not Norway can be the Norway that they've been in years past. Philippines, one last kick of the ball to send it forward. Player goes down, no foul called, and again a counterattack. Icing on the cake, possibly. Here comes another option. Picked off, sent forward, taken back. The Norwegian fans starting to cheer. I mean, they must have seen the result with New Zealand and Switzerland. Playing the ball around. And the final whistle blows at Eden Park in Auckland. Norway winning 6-0 over Philippines. Again, a great onslaught starting off in the 6th minute with Sophie Roman Haug. And then she got her second in the 17th. Caroline Graham Hansen added the third in the 31st to make it 3-0 going into half. 3 more were added after the break. First off with an own goal from Philippines' Alicia Barker. And then a penalty kick taken by Gura Wrighton. And then in stoppage time, Sophie Roman Haug finished it off with a hat trick. Again, that does it for my simulcast of both matches of Group A. We got Group B tomorrow, another big one, Australia versus Canada and Nigeria versus Ireland. I'm Mihirsan Hassan. Thanks for tuning in today. Stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow.